Adea Hoods. Hello, everyone. Haleg Se'ezra. My name is Laverne Dementef. Welcome to the third video in the series titled 5 C's for Healing Centered Engagement. So video number 3 is focused on the topic of community. And I want to share my screen here and show you a picture of me holding a king salmon on the banks of the Kuskokwim River. I am blessed to have 9 siblings, and one of my sisters lives in Antioch. And so when I visit, sometimes I'm lucky enough to go out fishing with them. All right, so let's talk about community. Community is essential, again, as healing and wellness happen within relationship to others. Indigenous elders have shared with me so many examples of how our communities have come together and still come together for celebration and in times of hardship. In this video, I really want to share a couple of personal examples of the power of community. So I grew up in the interior Alaskan community of Nenana between the ages of 4 and 10 years old. So during these formative years, I was positively impacted by the cultural strength, wisdom, and practices of the Tanana Athabascan people. I remember attending potlatches in the George Hall and the floor bouncing with all the native dancing and singing happening. This planted seeds of strength, love, and wellness that I still draw from today. Indigenous people come together to participate in many activities like fishing, berry picking, hunting, and so many others. This is how we have survived and thrived. Elders encourage us to have more positive wellness gatherings where the community can have fun, laugh, and learn from each other in healthy ways. We all belong to many types of communities that serve many purposes related to health and wellness. Some examples of communities include things like communities with geographic boundaries, neighborhood, city, region, state, communities of interest, sewing groups, language learning groups, hiking groups, online communities like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, cultural communities, ancestral, military, LGBTQ+, self-help or therapeutic communities like AA, support groups, grief groups, so many types of communities. So this picture that I'm sharing now is a vision board that I created of my language community. So Indigenous people's experiences and connection to language directly connect to well-being. All of the Indigenous languages in Alaska are endangered. There is not a homeland to return to where people are speaking the language if we don't reclaim and revitalize it. There were harsh and degrading punishments for generations of children who spoke their language, creating trauma around the language. However, the important thing to know is that there is also wellness, love, and hope attached to languages. Language includes our stories, medicine, and knowledge of who we are as a people. I am both an Indigenous language learner and teacher of the Dekenog language. So I'd like to take a moment to honor and acknowledge this community. Our ancestors and elders have worked so hard and with so much love in their heart for the Dekenog language, and they were able to carry it forward in times of great change and trauma through things like colonization and assimilation. I am eternally grateful for their efforts to protect the language and for their tireless work to preserve it so that it can be revitalized and utilized for future generations to know who we are, to be who we are, to know our worldview, relationships to the land, spirit, nature, and each other, and to use the knowledge for healing and wellness. So Degaton elder language warriors like Edna Deacon and the late Jim Dementi are examples of people who have passed the torch, and we have to accept the responsibility to continue on with their work, no matter how lonely, exhausting, and hard it can be at times. The more I learn my language, the more I heal and understand my purpose in the world, what relationships are important, how to be strong and healthy, the more joy that I have and the more love I have in my heart. And I want that for all people. So Hashirgadistan, that means I am grateful to our ancestors and elders for their immense love and strength so that we can be who we are today. So this is what community can create. This is the power of community. So Indigenous worldviews value the collective. Within those values are practices like sharing and caring, reciprocity and responsibility for others. Within community, we grow in our identity, sense of belonging, connection, and support system. In an article titled "Our Culture is Medicine," the authors state, one does not do anything successful in life without the support of the people and communities and groups around them. They go on to say, Indigenous therapeutic interventions usually involve the individual, family, and community, and healing occurs within the context of the community as a whole. And finally, healing one strengthens all members. So I want to end by talking about some healing-centered engagement practices. And I'm going to share my screen again. So one, creating a community of learners that support each other is extremely valuable. We are all learning together and can teach each other. Elder Esther Green from Bethel often tells students that learning is healing. Reflect on what communities exist in your school or district and acknowledge and express gratitude to yourself and your school for creating space for those communities. Next, reflect on what communities are missing and what communities can be created to provide that sense of belonging, connection, and support system. So two, I'd love it if you'd watch the video titled ABCs of Self-Care by Indigenous social work scholar Natalie Clark. So the video highlights the importance of self-care in our work so that we can be the best version of ourselves in our personal and professional lives. One of the things I love about Natalie's video is that she reminds us that we can't just focus on self-care alone, that we also have to build a culture of community care, where we're also supporting everyone else to be the best version that they can be as well. And then three, create your own vision board focused on a community that you want to build, and then set your intentions on making that happen for yourself. So you see on the bottom here, I've also provided some resources, 2 videos, both by Natalie Clark, and both excellent videos that I hope you're able to watch. So I just want to say, Doga Din, thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time in video number 4 on curiosity. Thank you.